for President of the United States. My voting history shows that I've done everything I can to support our minority groups. I want to end the war against illegal immigration because, after all, they're citizens too. However, my opponent rejects the idea of such acceptance. He's even been seen stopping Hispanics in the street and accusing them of being illegal. From drafting legislation to give free food stamps and welfare, to personally distracting the Border Patrol for easier passage, I am truly here for the people. Like the draft?
Like this too.
And yes, it's true that I voted in favor of funding for Planned Parenthood. I not only advocate, but promote a woman's right to have an abortion. In fact, last week I personally aborted an entire class of third graders. Yet your Republican nominee has been seen at abortion clinics, yelling at rape victims, telling them it was the will of God to bear their child. He has no respect for anyone who isn't also a rich white man, whereas I will give you all free health care, free food, and free abortions. Myself. He forces his religion on an entire nation, whereas I oppose religion in schools and in the home. He tries to portray a healthy marriage, but we all know that's really his sister. On November 6th, vote for a strong woman fighting for you, not an inbred Texan with a spoon-fed Harvard degree and stupid.
I'm your Democratic candidate, and I approve this message. Funded by Tampon, the American Minority Political Outreach Network.
Rob Stark. He's the biggest celebrity in the North. But his father was a traitor. He arrested his own mother. His bastard brother deserted the Night's Watch. And he couldn't defend his own castle. Worst of all, Rob Stark hasn't stopped the wildlings from invading our lands and taking our jobs. He even has an illegal alien for a nanny. And now he wants to be king in the North? King? Some people say he's really a wolf. Some people say he eats dead people. We can't wait until it's too late. Send a raven to Winterfell now and tell Rob Stark to go back home. Stop eating dead people and defend the damn wall.
This ad paid for by Crossbows GPS.
Daenerys Targaryen. She says she is the mother of dragons. But would you trust her with your kids? Her father was a maniac. She palled around with Dothraki terrorists. She asked the city of Karth for a government bailout. Then she lost 3 baby dragons after placing them in an unlocked wooden box. An unlocked wooden box. This Khaleesi wants to be queen of the 7 kingdoms, but can she be trusted? Daenerys Targaryen. Wrong for dragons. Wrong for the realm.
Paid for by the Committee to Protect Dragons.
We don't know anything about him.
He was never really vetted.
Is he really the true-born son of Robert Baratheon?
All over the 7 kingdoms, people are asking the same question. Who is the real King Joffrey? The people of Westeros are hurting. Winter is coming. Crop yields are falling, and the price of fuel is going up.
The cost of peat moss is through the thatched roof.
And this young and inexperienced king takes advice from a whoremongering imp and has launched an illegal war in the north? What is King Joffrey hiding? This is not our kind of family values. King Joffrey. What a bastard.
What a bastard.
Paid for by the Young Baratheons for Freedom.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
The following letters were written by our troops.
My dear fellow Americans, I truly appreciate your support. I was starting to wonder if people had forgotten about us over here, but then one of my buddies showed me this website, and now as tears are streaming down my face, I can see for sure that you haven't. Private Emily B., U.S. Army.
It's so heartwarming to see the American people not letting the men and women of the armed forces be forgotten. Your letters make a group of grown men, battle-hardened and gruff, act like a bunch of kids around a Christmas tree. Thanks. Staff Sergeant Matthew H., U.S. Army.
Your support may be the most important thing our troops can carry with them. But don't take our word for it. Take theirs. To show your support, visit americasupportsyou.mil. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Defense and the Ad Council.
Coolest, most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, Elrod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And I know this because I checked again today. I check almost every day just to make sure nothing has changed and liberals have not fully infiltrated the state government of the state of New Hampshire. It is Friday, free-for-all of Friday, as I like to call it, here in the bunkerized home studio. It is April the 10th in the year of our Lord 2015. We had some fog this evening. It's been pretty cool. Had snow a couple of days ago, a significant amount, and it's still on the ground. We still have some snow on the ground. And they usually say, hey, don't worry about it. You get a April snowstorm, and it's really gone by the next day. Well, it's Friday, and we had the snow Tuesday into Wednesday, and it's still here. So, and I know that they're talking about how warm it is and the drought conditions out in California. Well, can we switch a little bit? I will be more than happy to switch a little bit of this coldness with the West Coast if they can ship over some of their warmness. And we'll call it a fair trade, fair and even. A little bit of heat for a little bit of cold. Sounds good to me. Indeed. We are here live on the CPR radio network. The number that you can call me this evening if you wish to chat with me, and liberals are highly encouraged to call, is 603-835-3224. That's 603-385-3224. I had somebody who was, they were telling me that, Rod, you probably don't take calls. Yeah, I love to take calls. Well, you probably don't like it. Well, yeah, actually I do. Well, you probably don't let them talk. No, actually, especially if they're a liberal, I let them talk because they usually dig their own hole. I don't have to do much. The easiest call on the planet to take is a liberal call because they'll just drone on about nothing and they'll dig their own hole. I don't even have to work at it. Actually, to tell you the truth, really, it is kind of boring to take a liberal call because I really don't have to. There's nothing to think about. Not really. Because, you don't have to think in order to defeat somebody's ideas who doesn't think at all. I'm just saying. You really don't have to think at all when you're discussing with most liberals. And that's why the conversation usually devolves very quickly into name calling from their part, not necessarily yours. They will call you a name. They'll call you a bigot. They'll call you a homophobe. They'll call you all kinds of names, even though none of that is probably true of you. But they'll still throw it at you. Or, in my case, because a lot of people, I got to tell you this. Part of the reason for my moniker is because when people hear me without seeing me, they claim that they don't know that I'm black. Well, you don't sound black. I don't know if I should be insulted or not by that kind of a remark, because I get it a lot. And it's really, and I'm pretty sure I should be insulted. I guess I'm supposed to sound like I'm straight out of the hood and saying yo, yo, yo all the time. And using the N-word and all that kind of stuff and probably rapping instead of talking. I don't know what they're expecting to hear from another black guy, but evidently I'm not it. Which is why my moniker is what it is. I'm the coolest, most politically incorrect conservative black man on the planet. And when people say, well, geez, I didn't know you were black. Well, did you not hear my moniker or listen to it or read it? It's all over the place. I mean, you can't go to my face. You can't go to any of my social sites, accounts that I have without seeing it. So if you bother, well, liberals don't bother to read. Many of them probably can't read. But if you go to any of my social network accounts, that moniker is there. My picture is there. So I don't know how the hell you don't know. Really, I mean, well, yeah, hey, I guess black people don't sound like me. I don't know. What does that mean exactly? Educated, maybe? Yeah, I guess that might be it. I don't have the urban accent. Oh, I know what it is. I don't sound like Barack Hussein Obama. Who, by the way, you have to ask, where did Obama get his accent? Well, people say, well, he's half black, Rod. He's half black. Of course he's going to have that accent. No, of course not. That's not the case in his case. Now let me go over Barack Obama's life again one more time for you idiots out there. And I'm talking about people on the left and the right. This is not a strictly a liberal stupidity issue. But let's understand Barack Obama. This is why Barack, I call him a fake. Because he has a slight urban accent. Now, it's not like a southern drawl. I mean, depending on what part of the South you go to, so there are different kinds of southern drawls, just like there are different southern drawls in the South, just like there are different New England accents depending on where you are in New England. For instance, if you're in Boston, you're parking the car in the yard. Kind of talk kind of fast. You don't say your R's very well. You put your R's where they don't belong, like an area. But if you go to Maine, cadence slows down. Sounds more like this. Yeah, you can't get there from here. There's a distinct difference. So there's also a distinct difference in southern accents or southern drawls. But people, depending on the type of southern drawl you have, a lot of northerners, when they go down there, they kind of pick it up. Southern accent, southern drawl is very catchy. It really is. I mean, you catch on to it. And I remember one time when I was working for a business consulting firm. And, we were fooling around in the office, calling customers or clients and potential clients. And, I was using the southern drawl, and one of the guys in the room, one of the coworkers, he dared me, he challenged me, and I'm like, I can't do that. I'm not going to, pick up the phone and talk to somebody in a southern drawl. I'm not from the South. And my manager was overhearing this, and he said, I will give you $20 if you do it. Now, my manager is saying this. I'm like, are you serious? You're not going to like fire me or demote me or anything like that? He goes, no. And you put down the $20. He says, I bet you're too scared to do it. And I did it. I talked to this guy in a southern drawl for 10 minutes. The problem is I got the $20, but on the next call, the next client I was talking to, without realizing it, I was speaking to him in that same southern drawl, and everybody in the office in that area, in that room, was cracking up. I had everybody rolling because I didn't realize I was actually doing it. And I get off the phone and they said, do you realize, you're not getting another, my manager says, you're not getting another $20. And I didn't realize that I was still speaking with a southern drawl. So that's why I say it's kind of catchy and it's hard to get rid of. And, this was actually backed up by a speech therapist. There are speech therapists out there that help people get rid of their accents. And they say one of the most difficult accents in America to get rid of is certain types of southern drawls. If you have a real, if you're from Arkansas, possibly Georgia, or in the Oak Ridge area where you go, get it, you get that stuff. You don't get it. You get it. They say that is very difficult to train out of people. So there you go. Southern accents are very strong and very powerful, and they tend to stick around even when you don't want them to. Nothing wrong with it. I have a lot of friends from the South. A lot of people I know have the southern drawls. And actually, one of my favorite accents ever is when ladies have that Atlanta accent. Like Designing Women. Love that accent. It just kind of regal, I guess. But, there you have it. But Obama doesn't have a southern drawl. He's got that slight urbanized accent, black urbanized accent, black hood accent. And that's not something that's catchy. That's something that you learn. And he definitely learned it. Now, how do I know? Well, because he was born in Hawaii, spent the first 10 years of his life or so, 10 or 11 years of his life in Indonesia, where, I'm pretty sure that there aren't a lot of blacks in the hood over in Indonesia. I'm pretty sure about that. I don't have to actually go over there to check it out. I'm pretty sure that's the case. In fact, I'm very positive that that's the case. And so he comes back here, and he grows up and graduates high school in Hawaii. Now, if anything, he should be speaking with a Hawaiian accent, but he doesn't have that. No, he doesn't have, well, I don't know, maybe he was too busy getting high with his Choom Gang brothers over there in Hawaii. But he didn't step foot in the hood until he went to college. Now, by that time, your accent is pretty much set in stone unless you make a concerted effort to change it, or unless you're, in Georgia. But you have to willingly change to get that kind of an accent. That's not something that you're going to pick up. Look, I ought to know. I have spent a number of times, year at a time, in the hood because my father was in the military. And there were times when, he got a station change, a permanent station change. And we would have to, especially when we came back from Greece, Athens, Greece, stationed over there, we had to stay in Buffalo, New York. Now, that's where my parents grew up, high school, graduated. So we were there in Buffalo for a full year. I went to school at public school number 31 in Buffalo. I was surrounded by kids and adults that had the inner city black urban accent. I didn't pick it up. My sister didn't pick it up. My mother didn't pick it up. So how did Obama pick it up? That's why I say the guy's a phony. That's why you gotta pay attention to these people. Now we're trying to get the left is trying to foist another phony upon us. And everybody knows she's a phony, but for some reason the left is willing to put up with her because she's the smartest woman in the room, right? Isn't that what they say? Yeah. She's so smart. She's so brilliant. Smartest woman in the room. Of course, I would never say that about her. I don't think she's that brilliant, actually. She's an idiot. She's a total dunce. But hey, she wants to be the next president of the United States, the first female president. I mean, does anybody actually pay attention to what Hillary Clinton actually says and does? Oh, by the way, if you didn't figure out, I was the fake person, that was Hillary. Look, there are people out there that don't like her within her own party, within her own so-called circle of friends. They don't like her. They say she's mean. They say she's belligerent. They say she's inconsiderate. And that's just for starters. I mean, what do you do with a person who is that? How do you put it? Who's that just plain nasty. She's just a nasty woman. Period. And if you've got a nasty person, then what do you do with them? Well, you kind of want to, I guess you don't want to, it's not that you don't want to be around them because they have power. And it's not that, you get, I guess there are people on the right as well as the left that are afraid of this woman. Now, you have to ask yourself, why would they be afraid of Hillary Clinton? Because there's nothing that she can do to them, right? Maybe they have reason to be afraid of her. But she's supposed to be announcing her wonderful candidacy this weekend. And the rumor is it's going to be soft, and it's going to be a soft opening, so to speak. It's going to be a very soft opening. But I don't know if that's, due to the fact that she's trying to have it both ways, folks. Look, this woman is having some legal problems, and that's due to her, being Secretary of State. Having some huge legal problems. And my prediction is that they're only going to get worse, which is why Elizabeth Warren is sitting in the background, just wringing her hands and salivating. She can taste it herself. Susan Warren is already out there starting to pound Hillary Clinton. Hey, Hillary, so says Elizabeth Warren, you got some splaining to do. Hey, Hillary. But yeah, she's supposed to be out there this weekend announcing that she's entering the race, the first one to enter the race on the Democratic side. And she's going to try to, this is her last shot. I mean, the woman's like, what, she's going to be 70? This is her last shot. She doesn't have another, because there's no way that she's going to be able, if she doesn't get the nomination this time, she's done. Even if she does get the nomination and she doesn't win, she's done. Either way, she's done. This is her last hurrah, her last shot. So no wonder she's not wanting to give it up. She's too old. She's too bitchy. There are too many bodies left in her wake. And that if she gets out of power, if she ducks out totally without doing anything, she's not going to be able to claw her way back in. They will slam the door on her. Her and Billy Boy. Don't doubt me, folks. I'm telling you. This is her last hurrah. This is her only shot that she's got left. The only shot left. So she's going to try to, even with all that stuff that's going on. Now, I see a normal, honest, non-fake person would not bother to run for political office when they have to deal with so much of the crap that's standing behind her. We're talking Benghazi, just two things, Benghazi and the emails. Those are two major issues that have not gone away. Even though the mainstream media wants them to go away, they haven't gone away. But she is so self-centered, so selfish, that all she can think about is the White House. And she is so fake and phony that she will pretend like nothing ever happened. There's nothing wrong, and she knows what she's done. But she's going to pretend like, oh, you know, and then she's going to feign anger if you bring it up on her. You know, why would you be angry if people want to know the truth? Oh, yeah, that's the problem, the truth. So evidently she's going to enter the race on the quiet side. And I say the quiet side because there's not going to be a lot of fanfare. I guess from what I understand, she's only going to really fully announce it, quote unquote, on social media. Now, look, I fully understand that social media today is extremely powerful. It's very fast. Information travels very fast. But it still doesn't yet reach talking to people in person. And on the air, on the radio, on television, in front of you with the microphone, in front of the media and the press. She's going to do it. I don't know if if the media is the mainstream media is going to be there. What are they going to do? Are they going to sit there and watch her while she's typing and pressing the buttons? I, Hillary Clinton, will formally announce today on Twitter, okay, Sen, that I am running for president, Sen, because you only do it 140 characters at a time on Twitter, of the United States of America, to try to be, Sen, the first female president in this country's history. Sen, I will make a great president. Hashtag Hillary, hashtag 2016, hashtag president. Send. Is that what they're going to do? They're going to sit around for that? I don't know how that makes any news, but I guess, folks, that's all it takes. That's all it takes to enter the race now. You know, speaking of races, we have up here in New Hampshire, there's this gentleman up here. He calls himself, I guess he's legally changed his name to Vermin Supreme. And he was giving a press conference. They were giving press conferences to these alternate, lesser-known candidates in Manchester, New Hampshire today. And there's a picture of him. It looked like he was wearing one of those tall, long, flat-heeled ladies' boots on his head. I don't know what kind of hat that was, but I kid you not, his name is Vermin Supreme. He actually had it changed to Vermin Supreme, and he's a Democrat. Now, folks, I kid you not, I can't. Look, I always say I don't have that kind of imagination. If I did, I'd be a Hollywood movie script writer. But I don't have that kind of imagination. I can't make this stuff up. And if you don't believe, you'll have to go to my Facebook page, because I think I shared it over there, the fan page. I'll place it. I'll put the picture on the website tonight, rodeccles.net. But I'm telling you, you can't make this stuff up, because I sure as hell, I can't make it up. Vermin Supreme. I kid you not. That's his real name.
This is a station identification moment.
Come on down to the newest pub in Texas, Rednecks, where our beer kegs are always full. Don't ask what brand it is, because it all tastes like warm piss. So if you're celebrating a special occasion, like marrying your sister.
I do.
I did. Or being named Employee of the Month at Walmart, you're going to want to come celebrate with us at Redneck's Bar and Cantina. And remember, every Friday and Saturday, we have our famous tooth contest. Whoever has the most teeth wins a pair of John Deere mud flaps and a buttery corn on the cob. There's plenty of parking space to drive your house over to Redneck's and come on in and have a hell of a time. We're located right next to Big Al's truck stop, right across the street from the KKK headquarters.
Homos and minorities not welcome.
In a world where beer is served warm and flat, there is only one hope for beer drinkers. The Wooden Tap Bar and Grill presents Perfect Tap, an epic invention that ensures your favorite draft beer tastes better here than it does anywhere else. Critics call Perfect Tap mesmerizing. This is the way draft beer is supposed to taste. If you drink just one beer this year, make sure it comes from Perfect Tap. Now pouring exclusively at all 4 Wooden Tap locations. Wooden Tap! Come as you are.
Ripper the Clown may be a cartoon character come to life, but do you trust him with your votes on November 4th? Ripper the Clown wants to be mayor, sheriff, comptroller, and senator of Ripper County, but in a recent debate, he admitted that he didn't even know what a comptroller was. And then he offered free gas cards and fast food gift certificates to anyone who voted for him. He also offered free autographed copies of his new award-winning zombie novel, The Life and Minds, and Zombie Apocalypse of Ripper the Clown for those who cast votes in his favor. These are all violations of America's occasionally enforced voting laws. Do you want this inexperienced and sneaky clown with his finger on the button? Don't vote for Ripper the Clown. Paid for by people who hate Ripper the Clown. The people who hate Ripper the Clown are responsible for the content of this ad.
Let's talk about Bob Sweeney, Lambert, Bentonhausen, Kavanaugh, Rope Puller, Havisham, McDougal, Subway, Bentley, Kavanaugh, Buffalo, Nickel, Jones, Rosenberg, Radio Frequency, Smith. What do you know? Did you know that he's a naval hero? He single-handedly fought the Battle of Trafalgar in the waiting pool at the community center, freeing us from French tyranny. Did you know that he's an adventurer? Fighting the elements, he climbed Mount Everest in the frozen food section of the local grocery store to prove that anyone can achieve their dreams. He's a humanitarian. He found another cure for smallpox when, on a rainy day, climbed his aluminum ladder to the power lines to rescue a stray sperm whale. An energy pioneer. He discovered an unyet-named natural resource when he chewed the gum from underneath all the tables at the local pizza joint. And did you know that the only salary he takes is a few pieces of string, peat moss, and the occasional crow feather? Naval hero, adventurer, humanitarian, energy pioneer, and philanthropic volunteer. That's Bob Sweeney, Lambert, Bettenhausen, Kavanaugh, Rope Pillar, Havisham, McDougal, Subway, Bentley, Kavanaugh, Buffalo, Nickel, Jones, Rosenberg, Radio Frequency, Smith. On Tuesday, remember to punch number 7 and vote for Bob Sweeney, Lambert, Bettenhausen, Kavanaugh, Rope Puller, Havisham, McDougal, Subway, Bentley, Kavanaugh, Buffalo, Nickel, Jones, Rosenberg, Radio Frequency, Smith for Village Idiot. He's what this city needs to feel better in the eyes of the world.
Paid for by the Friends of Bob Sweeney, Lambert, Bettenhausen, Kavanaugh, Rope Puller, Havisham, McDougal, Subway, Bentley, Kavanaugh, Buffalo, Nickel, Jones, Rosenberg, Radio Frequency, Smith.
All hail the Messiah, Obama, blessed the new socialist motherland, our Savior, Obama, the leader of famous, the Lindsay Lohan. Down and praise the one. Give him your money and your guns. Give us a country that makes your wife proud. Lord, bury the bitter ones, white and clinging to faith and to guns. All for the shades of the hope of the
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
And we are back. You are listening to the Rod Eccles Show, and of course I am your lovable host, Elrod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio. Hillary Clinton Here is the article from The Guardian. And, of course, it's all over the place, but this is where I picked it up from. And why did I choose to pick it up from The Guardian? Well, because I wanted to. No particular reason. It was, you know what, to be fair, you know, because we always have to be fair. We have to be fair about everything in life. So we have to be fair in my newsfeed, because when I prepare for the show every day, I have a particular news outlets that I have that feed me information, and then I'm able to take that particular information and then go off and look for stuff other places. But they were the first one in my news feed to show me this story, so that's why I'm choosing The Guardian. Exclusive, Hillary Clinton to launch 2016 campaign on Sunday en route to Iowa. So former Secretary of State is scheduled to announce her presidential run on Twitter. See, I told you. That's why I was pretending to be her. I was being the fake Hillary on a fake Twitter last segment. Look, it's people. It's just, I'm sorry. I'm going to be serious for a minute here. I'm going to be serious as a heart attack. Look, we are a nation of 330 million people. Give or take a few million. Give or take a few of the illegals. But we're not a little tiny backwater nation. We're a very modern nation. We have a lot of educated, well-educated, some overeducated, some not so overeducated, some undereducated. We have a lot of experienced people in this country. You cannot tell me that the best the Democrats have to offer is this woman. That is just the biggest line of bullshit I've ever heard. Yeah, I said the S word. Because it ticks me off that these people think so little of the American people that they will try to prop her butt up and push her forward and say, here's your Democratic choice. You've got to be freaking kidding me. She's not the smartest woman in the world. In fact, the people that are close to her that don't like her, they will tell you why they don't like her, and they'll tell you what an idiot she is. Look, she screws everything up. We have Obamacare now, right? Well, guess who had it first? Hillary. It was called Hillary Care back in 93, 94. She screwed it up so bad that people didn't want Hillary Care more than they didn't want Obamacare. That's how bad it was. And then Obama, like an idiot, makes her the Secretary of State, and she goes off to and screws up Benghazi, and people died. And then she wants to sit back and say, what difference does it make at this point? It doesn't matter. Who cares if it was people that, if it was a parade or if it was guys who just were looking out to kill some Americans? What difference does it make at this point? Well, it makes a big difference because you screwed up, Hillary. And the best that they can do is tell us, and start to tell us that if we don't like her, it's because we're sexist. Oh, that's a bunch of bunk. And I don't want to see a freaking single Republican cower from that because we tried to elect Sarah Palin as our vice president. How the hell are we going to be sexist if we want her to be the vice president and we have a lot of Republicans out there who are saying that she should run for president? How are we being sexist? Don't take it. I mean, holy crap, people. I mean, they could at least be honest and give us, and not tell us that we're so stupid and give us somebody else. I mean, there'll still be a Democrat, but for crying out loud, there is no way in hell her number should be as high. They shouldn't be above 10%. I'm sorry, they shouldn't. Flat out. Should not be. She has some of the highest unfavorable numbers of any potential candidate in history. She is screwed up. I mean, she's got two real tough legal problems ahead of her that probably won't go away unless, she unless the good old payola starts coming out, those stories better not drop, I'm telling you right now. I mean, the arrogance of the left to give us this woman and tell us, well, she's, it's not only her turn, but she's the best possible candidate that we have to put. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that at least half of the radical left are not this stupid. And the only reason that they're going to support her is simply because she's got a D in front of her name. Democrat candidate Hillary Rodham Clinton. Oh, I'm sorry. She doesn't go by Rodham anymore. Look, it's in the headline. Remember when come on, folks. Do you see the phoniness here? When Bill Clinton was running for office the first time, his first term, what was her name? Hillary Clinton. Then he gets elected. Then what was her name? Hillary Rodham Clinton. And throughout his term, what was her name? Hillary Rodham Clinton. And then through her first Senate campaign, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Now all of a sudden she's Hillary Clinton again? Are we going to fall for this? Look, I'm sorry. I'm getting worked up over this because it really ticks me off because they think that we are this stupid. And frankly, we elected Obama twice, so I don't know, maybe they got something on us. And then she's gonna be so arrogant as to, well, you know what? I am just such a powerful candidate that all I have to do is announce on Twitter and the whole world will know. She has got to be she can't be the worst candidate. I don't know. I'm going to be frank. I'm not sure who would be worse, Hillary Clinton or Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, well, I guess they don't have anybody else to put forth as far as being female. Who they got? Barbara Boxer or Nancy Pelosi? I mean, is this what Wasserman Schultz? I mean, come on. Is this the best that liberals have in the female category to put forth to be leaders? Really? There aren't some better. There have got to be smarter and better ones out there. Look, I implore the Democrats, please, because the rest of the world is watching. And quite frankly, the women I just mentioned, they're the perfect example for why the Saudis and other Middle Eastern countries do not allow women to vote or in politics. Seriously. All they got to do is point to these people and see and they'll say, see what happens when we let women into politics? This is why we don't. And trust me, they are saying stuff like that. I mean, they've already, admitted why we don't let women drive because, the car breaks. It's not as if women can't handle a broken down car and fix it. No, because they think women are too stupid and too weak. This is the Saudis. They don't let women drive because what if they're out in the middle of the desert, the car breaks down, and then another guy comes along and they get raped because women are too stupid. They don't know how to avoid rape. They don't know how to fix the car. They don't know how to do anything, right? And so they're looking at our women on the Democrat side who are in power, and they say all these stupid and obviously stupid and inane things, and the Saudis look over and say, see? And I'm not being funny at all on this. I know some people are probably laughing with what I just said. I'm not laughing. I'm not smiling. I'm being serious. The truth is in order to be effective in the world, you have to have respect. Obama has no respect. Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State for 4 years. She got no respect. How the hell do you think she's going to get respect being president? She's just changing in office. They're just going to look at her and say, oh, female Obama. Putin is going to have you know what? That man is just sitting back in the Kremlin and he's just having himself a party. He's like, if only Gorby could have waited and held out for another couple of decades, we could have defeated the USA. Because I'm telling you, if these two were in charge and we still had the USSR, there would be no USA. That's a damn guaranteed fact, people. We're just lucky that the Chi-Coms aren't up and running full steam yet. Really, they're not our military equal yet. The USSR was our military equal. The Chi-Coms are getting there, but they're not there yet. They're just quietly doing what they're doing all the back, behind the scenes manipulating of currency and all that kind of stuff, while building their armies and navies and stealing secrets and building their economy. Oh, yeah, and getting money so they can continue building their army and navies. But they're not quite there yet, thankfully. The USSR was. We could go toe-to-toe. They could go toe-to-toe with us back in the day. Let me tell you something. If Barack Obama was president back in the 80s, not only would there still be a USSR and a Cold... Well, there probably wouldn't be a Cold War because there would be no America. Guarantee you. And now you're going to put this idiot, try to put this idiot in the Oval Office? I'm sorry, folks, but there's absolutely no excuse for this. I love to hear Republicans. I'm going to blame some of you Republicans out there for this. Because you guys, you'll whine, piss, and moan when you don't get your favorite candidate to be nominated. You've proven this when you stayed at home because you didn't like Mitt Romney. Now, I'm sorry. That's just an idiotic move. It really is. Because if you do it again this time in 2016, we're going to get Hillary. Or we're going to get Elizabeth Warren. And God help you then, because I will say the F-bomb all over the place on the air. Because it will be your fault. Pay attention. Don't doubt me on this. Because it'll be it. It'll be done. We will be done. Do you understand? I don't know how. Do I need to play some sort of ominous music in the background so you get the feeling of this? This is critical, folks. There is absolutely no possible way she should even step foot in the White House as a freaking guest from now on, let alone being president of the United States. Plain and simple. I mean, this is... well, I hope that there's some good news, that this is some real good news, because this is coming from Yahoo News, actually. And it's Yahoo News Canada. I don't know, maybe because Yahoo News USA doesn't want to do the story. Look, I mean... I am fully aware about how bad our lamestream media is. And look, I actually do get a lot of information from offshore news sources. Because our onshore news sources won't cover it. And let's face it, the Fox News can't cover everything. It's why we have so many different stations and newspapers. They can all cover stuff, but they're not covering this stuff. And Fox News can't cover it all. But here's something from Yahoo News Canada. And if you listened to the show last night, I was talking about poll numbers and about Hillary's poll numbers, and I was saying I'm very dubious about poll numbers, especially when we have all of this going on with her in the email accounts and the servers and wiping the server in Benghazi. And we have the lamestream side, the Democratic side, the left-leaning pollsters trying to tell us that Hillary still would beat any current Republican candidate. That her numbers are that good. When she has these unfavorable numbers that are through the roof, I don't know how anybody's able to do that. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how. I don't know how you can do it. how you can have such terrible numbers and still be ahead of everybody else. I don't know how you can do it. Not possible. At least not in politics. At least that's what I'm told. You can't do it. But evidently, because she's the smartest, brightest, strongest, fastest female candidate ever, that of course she can do it. But nobody else can do it. Oh, no, nobody else. Just Hillary. Only Hillary can do it. And Hillary can only do it because of why? Because the mainstream media says so. But here from Yahoo News, Canada. Oh, maybe we'll all just have to, maybe all of us conservative people just have to move up. Look, we'll have to move to Canada. If we lose this country, we'll have to move to Canada. And I'm telling you that we can do it. Canada only has a population of 33 million. There are more than 33 million strong, conservative, constitutional believing people in the United States. We'll just do a Canadian takeover. We'll just move north of the border and start over, I guess. But that's going to be our only hope. But here's a glimmer from the folks north of our border. Rand Paul is up, Clinton is down. But yesterday, the poll was that Clinton was beating everybody. But here's another poll. Rand Paul is up, Clinton is down in 2016 presidential poll. In fact, Democrat Hillary Clinton has slipped against leading 2016 Republican candidate in Colorado, Iowa, and Virginia, according to a poll released yesterday that cited damage from the furor over the former Secretary of State's emails. Oh, wait a minute. Now, see, they didn't have this story yesterday. This is a story that is dated today. So this story wasn't out there yesterday. So the story that I had yesterday was telling me that, oh, Hillary's like, she's superwoman. She's almost unbeatable. And now we're getting some truth here, aren't we? Oh, no, not so fast, Democrats. She's not superwoman. She's in some trouble. Well, we already knew she was in political trouble. Look, let me tell you something. If you are a political candidate and you're going to run for the highest, most powerful office in the country, possibly the world, are you going to quietly do it on Twitter and through video conferencing? Oh, hell no. You're going to stand at the mountaintop, the tallest mountain you can possibly get, with all the fanfare you can possibly get, and you're going to shout it out just like Cruz and Paul did. I'm running for president. Let me tell you, she's doing it for a reason. Don't doubt me on this. She's quietly doing it because over the next few months are going to make or break her. If she's able to do some political maneuvering and pull it off, and hey, look, folks, it is highly possible for her to do this, to get those stories to go away, to get the legal issues and the heavy cloud of those legal issues to go away. Hillary may not be the brightest, but let me tell you, Bill, we didn't call him Slick Willie for nothing. He wasn't Teflon Bill for nothing. Bill is a smart politician. Bill is still her husband. Now, you may say what you want to say about their marriage, but that's irrelevant. Because Bill would love nothing more than to live at on Pennsylvania Avenue again. And this time he won't have any real duties. He won't be president, so he'll be free to do whatever the hell he wants to do. And he'll have the veil of the White House and Secret Service protection to be able to do whatever the hell he wants to do. Oh yeah. Don't look, Bill's not an idiot. I gotta tell you, I know. I see. I should have been back in that White House when I was a little bit younger, about 6 years ago. Yeah, but this guy with the fairy tale, he came on and stole my dream of being back in that White House. Because let me tell you, I was all set. I had the numbers. I had the speed dials all set up. Yeah, we were going to have some parties and orgies. I wouldn't be caught going down to like Orgy Island if I was back in the White House, because I'd have the orgies in the White House and nobody even know, because I had the Secret Service just go out and get the girls, just like they did when I was governor. I had the state troopers go out and find me some women. Yeah, and they bring them back to the governor's mansion. I know Hillary thought, everybody thought Hillary knew. Well, she didn't. She didn't care. That cut on my head that I had to get stitches for? Yeah, Hillary popped me one, but she wasn't mad. She wasn't mad at all that I was with Monica. No, she was just mad I got caught, and I was screwing up her chances for her political career, and she thought she was done because of me, and I told her, no, baby, no, we'll get this straightened out. You just watch. I'll go before the people, and I'll tell them I wasn't having sexual relations with that woman, and they'll believe me. And I'll say I got to get back to work for the American people, and they'll believe me. And you know what? It'll all blow over. And guess what? I was right. It did blow over. I stayed in the White House. She became a U.S. Senator out of the state of New York. We had never even been to New York before, but then we just decided to move, and they elected her. I tell you, it was a great coup. I'm telling you. You can't discount Bill in the background. Hillary's not running the whole show. You can be guaranteed of that. Bill's even announced it. I'm going to be in the back, on the backstage there. You're not going to see me very much. I'm not going to be involved. I'll just be back there pulling strings, manipulating people. No, did I say that out loud? No, I'm not going to do that. This is all Hillary's thing. Yeah. Hey! Get me some water. We got a lot of work to do. I'm telling you, he's not out of it. They're a formidable team. They may not love each other. They may not even like each other, but they need each other. And that's why I would never count her out. As long as you've got the lamestream media behind you, which they are, because they're already firing the shots of sexism. Because, hey, it worked so well to talk about racism on Obama. If you didn't like Obama, or if you didn't support Obama, or if you didn't vote for Obama, you were a racist. And all throughout his tenure as president, that's all we heard. If you were against Obama's policies, it's because you're a racist, not because you didn't like his policies. No, look, he could have had the exact same policies as Bill Clinton. In fact, his policies were worse than they were with Bill Clinton, but they could have been exactly as Bill Clinton. And you could have not liked them because you could say, well, when Bill Clinton had that exact same idea and policy, we didn't like it then either. No. But they would still call you a racist. And Republicans ran from it. No, we're not racist. I'm not a racist. Now, let me tell you something. Do not get sucked into this thing. Because if you do, we're going to lose. And this time, we will lose the country for good. I'm telling you, you can't be playing around with these people because they will destroy you if you give them the chance. If you give them the chance, they will take it. Look, we've given Obama 2 terms. In his second term, he's taken that chance and he's taken us down. Do you want to continue with Hillary? Please say no.
Come on down to the newest pub in Texas, Rednecks, where our beer kegs are always full. Don't ask what brand it is, because it all tastes like warm piss. So if you're celebrating a special occasion, like marrying your sister,
I do.
I did, or being named Employee of the Month at Walmart, you're going to want to come celebrate with us at Redneck's Bar and Cantina. And remember, every Friday and Saturday, we have our famous tooth contest. Whoever has the most teeth wins a pair of John Deere mud flaps and a buttery corn on the cob. There's plenty of parking space to drive your house over to Redneck's and come on in and have a hell of a time. We're located right next to Big Al's truck stop, right across the street from the KKK headquarters.
Homos and minorities not welcome.
In a world where beer is served warm and flat, there is only one hope for beer drinkers. The Wooden Tap Bar and Grill presents Perfect Tap, an epic invention that ensures your favorite draft beer tastes better here than it does anywhere else. Critics call Perfect Tap mesmerizing. This is the way draft beer is supposed to taste. If you drink just one beer this year, make sure it comes from Perfect Tap. Now pouring exclusively at all 4 Wooden Tap locations. Wooden Tap! Come as you are.
Ripper the Clown may be a cartoon character come to life, but you trust him with your votes on November 4th? Ripper the Clown wants to be mayor, sheriff, comptroller, and senator of Ripper County. But in a recent debate, he admitted that he didn't even know what a comptroller was. And then he offered free gas cards and fast food gift certificates to anyone who voted for him. He also offered free autographed copies of his new award-winning zombie novel, The Life and Minds, and Zombie Apocalypse of Ripper the Clown for those who cast votes in his favor. These are all violations of America's occasionally enforced voting laws. Do you want this inexperienced and sneaky clown with his finger on the button? Don't vote for Ripper the Clown. Paid for by people who hate Ripper the Clown. The people who hate Ripper the Clown are responsible for the content of this ad.
Let's talk about Bob Sweeney, Lambert, Bentonhausen, Kavanaugh, Rope Puller, Havisham, McDougal, Subway, Bentley, Kavanaugh, Buffalo, Nickel, Jones, Rosenberg, Radio Frequency, Smith. What do you know? Did you know that he's a naval hero? He single-handedly fought the Battle of Trafalgar in the wading pool at the community center, freeing us from French tyranny. Did you know that he's an adventurer? Fighting the elements, he climbed Mount Everest in the frozen food section of the local grocery store to prove that anyone can achieve their dreams. He's a humanitarian. He found another cure for smallpox when, on a rainy day, climbed his aluminum ladder to the power lines to rescue a stray sperm whale. An energy pioneer. He discovered an unyet-named natural resource when he chewed the gum from underneath all the tables at the local pizza joint. And did you know that the only salary he takes is a few pieces of string, peat moss, and the occasional crow feather? Naval hero, adventurer, humanitarian, energy pioneer, and philanthropic volunteer. That's Bob Sweeney, Lambert, Bentonhausen, Kavanaugh, Rope Pillar, Havisham, McDougal, Subway, Bentley, Kavanaugh, and Buffalo, Nickel, Jones, Rosenberg, Radio Frequency, Smith. On Tuesday, remember to punch number 7 and vote for Bob Sweeney, Lambert, Bentonhausen, Kavanaugh, Rope Puller, Havisham, McDougal, Subway, Bentley, Kavanaugh, Buffalo, Nickel, Jones, Rosenberg, Radio Frequency, Smith for Village Idiot. He's what this city needs to feel better in the eyes of the world.
Paid for by the Friends of Bob Sweeney, Lambert, Bentonhausen, Kavanaugh, Rope Puller, Havisham, McDougal, Subway, Bentley, Kavanaugh, Buffalo, Nickel, Jones, Rosenberg, Radio Frequency, Smith.
That makes your life proud. Lord, bury the bitter ones, white and clinging to faith and to God. All for the change of the hope of the church.
Have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
You know, folks, we really can't allow any party anymore. I don't care if it's the Democrats or the Republicans or any other party that might take one of their places to ever give us these types of candidates again. We the people should not sit back and take it. Really, we deserve better than that. I mean, we're America, for Christ's sakes. This is the United States of America. We are the American people. We have helped build the most powerful, most prosperous, freest nation this planet has ever seen. We deserve better than what we're getting, plain and simple. Good evening, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, Elrod, who's a little bit ticked off about Hillary. And I'm coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. The number that you can call on this April the 10th, 2015, Friday, is 603-835-3224. And I know a lot of you are probably listening to this on a delayed presentation to you at a different, in other words, it's being, for Rush Limbaugh's Ria Linda people, it's, in other words, you're not hearing it live probably, you're hearing it later on. And that's perfectly fine. I am glad you're listening. But know that even if you cannot listen to me live, you can still call that number and, express what's on your mind and just talk to me. I mean, that would be, look, I've had calls from people who weren't listening to the show, but they've known that the time frame to call in. That's Eastern time, by the way. I know some people just, they can't get that time difference thing. There are different time zones across the planet. By the way, there's 24 of them. Just so, for Rush Limbaugh's Ria Linda, folks, there's 24 for, 1 hour per so many I'm not even going to get into the degrees of the planet, but there's 1 hour in each time, and there's 24 time zones. So 24 hours for the day. Got that? Yeah, good. But we are having a grand old time. It is free-for-all Friday. I usually keep Fridays a little bit lighter because we're going into the weekend, and basically what you're getting for news is a bunch of document dumping from the administration and the government, and you got to really sift through all that crap in order to find the real meaty stuff, and they do that on purpose, so it's very difficult for us to find out what the hell they're doing. So what usually happens is stuff usually happens over the weekend. It usually weeds itself out, and then Monday morning, I find out everything that goes on over the weekend and all the stuff that happened from the document dump and the information dump on Friday, and it all comes together, and Monday's a big day, and boom. We're right back into it. So right now we're just going to have a good old time on this Friday evening, and we're going to try to lighten it up a little bit. So we're moving past this notion of Hillary Clinton running for president, because she's in the race now. She's in the race, and we're not going to look. The Democrats want to. I just want to say one last thing about this. If this is the best the Democrats have to offer this time around, then the White House is the Republicans to lose. Let me make sure you understand this. If Republicans en masse stay at home like they did again with Romney and just hand it to her or whoever the Democrats put forth, then we have nobody to blame but ourselves, really. I'm just, you folks, I know that it's already starting. I mean, no, Ted Cruz is the guy. He's the only one. He's the, if we do not nominate Ted Cruz, I'm not voting. And the Rand Paul people are already saying, well, if we don't nominate Rand Paul, we're not voting. Well, that's the most asinine, most stupid thing I've ever heard anybody say, as far as politics is concerned. That's just dumb. I mean, as a matter of fact, the next person that tells me that, I'm going to suggest that they check themselves into Bellevue, because that's insanity. Because what you're telling me is that, if Rand Paul is in the nomination, isn't the nominee, but maybe Ted Cruz is. You're going to tell me that Ted Cruz would be worse to have in office than Hillary Clinton or Elizabeth Warren. You are certifiable. I'm not going to accept it anymore. I'm not going to take it anymore. You need to be put away. Quite simple. This staying at home as a protest vote or whatever, or throwing your vote away for some also-ran that has absolutely no chance of winning, especially since he's not on all 50 ballots, you are an idiot, you're a nut job, and you need to be committed to Bellevue. Plain and simple. I'm not holding back on this one, folks. No, I'm not being nice about it. In fact, the next time I have to say it, there might be an F-bomb in front of it. You are a blank idiot. Okay? Got it? Good. Moving on. Walter Scott's family wants Al Sharpton to just butt out. No. For those of you, let me remind you or refresh your memory what this Walter Scott thing is. This is the 50-year-old black man who was shot in the back running away from the white police officer in South Carolina. So in other words, this man's family is black. And they want Al Sharpton to butt out. Hey, Al, shut up and go away, will you? Good luck. Hey, let me say something directly to Walter Scott's family. Good luck with that, because there have been a lot of blacks that have tried to get Al Sharpton in. I'm surprised Jesse Jackson's. Where is Jesse Jackson? He's nowhere to be found in this one. He's hiding away on some island with another mistress of his. He's had mistresses before. In fact, I do believe it was proven that Jesse Jackson has got a bastard child, right? I can't keep track of these people like that. So, they want to be idiots. Fine, go ahead. And do the kind of stuff that they do, but they should leave the rest of us out of it, because we're not. Look, we want them to leave us alone. We want Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson to leave us black folk alone. And here you got the Walter Scott family saying, "Hey, Al Sharpton, leave us alone. Leave us alone." Plain and simple. I don't know how much, more clear that can be. But Al, you know what Al says? I can't. I can't leave it alone. I can't leave it alone. No, I know the family wants me to get lost, but I can't get lost on this one. I can't leave it, because let me tell you something. If you say that a white man can shoot a black man running away, you a racist. If you say that a black man can't shoot a white man running away, then you a racist. I'm telling you. I can't stay away because there's too much racism going on around here. They just racist everywhere. Everywhere, hallelujah. I'm telling you, they're just racist everywhere. That's why I can't. The Lord won't let me leave it alone. No. He won't let me leave it alone. But we want Al to go away. Yeah, we do. The family wants Al to go away. Good luck with that. Did you know, after his apology tour, and you know who I'm talking about with the apology. Now, I'm not talking about Barack Obama's apology tour. I'm talking about the little white Canadians apology tour. Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber was out there, for like a month, just apologizing about being such a, little prick for all these years. And, he tried to change his look. He tried to look older, more mature. He changed his hairstyle, and he's got all these extra tattoos now. He bulked up, and that's why the Calvin Klein thing, because, he's been working out, so he's a little bit bigger. So he doesn't look like well, if you look at his face, he kind of still looks like a prepubescent boy, but he does look a little bit older. And he was trying to be adult-like and very serious about his apology. And I'm sure a lot of people bought into that apology. Well, it seems that Justin Bieber has gotten himself into trouble yet again. And the reason why I bring this up, because I'm not what did Justin Bieber Beliebers. His fans are called Beliebers. Who comes up with this stuff anyway? I mean, really? Yeah, his fans are called Beliebers. Well, I am not a believer in Bieber. I'm sorry, I'm not. But the reason why I bring it up is because, look, the younger generation, those who are about to become voting age and those who just became voting age, they are influenced by this little idiot. You know, they look at hey, Justin Bieber can do stuff like that and get away with it. Why can't we? Justin Bieber doesn't care about politics or this or that, so why should we? Justin Bieber only cares about this, so that's all we're going to care. Look, trust me, these celebrities, they have tremendous influence, especially on our youth. No, but Justin Bieber, I mean, look, hey, it seems like people have forgiven him. You know, even some of his most stern critics say, "Oh, isn't that cute? Bieber was out there apologizing yet again. He must really mean it this time." He didn't win me over. I'm sorry. I said, nah, he's still a little prick, and he's in trouble again, just to prove me right yet again. It appears that there has been an arrest warrant issued for Justin Bieber down in Argentina. Now, I guess he's on tour. I think he's on a new tour. But I evidently he's got this. It's for assault or something. I think on his new girlfriend or wannabe girlfriend or some girl. I don't know. And maybe it's just to prove that he isn't. I guess Bieber is still trying to prove he's a man. I don't know, but there he goes. He's after the apology tour. He jets down to Argentina. I guess in Argentina they didn't hear the apology tour. That probably wasn't on the stop of the apology tour, so he didn't have to. He didn't apologize down there, evidently, because a judge ordered his arrest for, I guess, alleged assault. Don't know the full story. It was just breaking news, but there you go. Apology not accepted, Justin. Just saying. Here's a town hall story. And don't let your kids, parents, you do have, you can, I know kids are going to do what they're going to do. And they're going to try to listen to the music they're going to try and listen to. But you can put some sort of a lock and not make it so easy for them to get a hold of the stuff that you do not think is good for them. Just do not give up on it. I mean, tell them, look, Justin Bieber's not a good role model. Sorry, he's not. So, but it's kind of it's kind of like this. You have to help your children. You, the parent, you do have to help your children pick out role models. You have to sort of point them in the right direction because and this is not true. I'm going to mention a group's name, and this is not true of all their fans. But let's face it, your child becomes a Marilyn Manson fan. And you let them live out their wildest dreams in the Marilyn Manson world. And then you're shocked when he becomes a criminal, or he's angry and acts out, or he disrespects you and his other parent. You're shocked, really, seriously. Well, no wonder Hillary Clinton is still up in the polls. I'm flabbergasted, seriously. I mean, come on, folks, just use a little bit of logic. Watch what your kids are doing. Pay more attention to what they're doing. The influence that they get really is very strong, but don't underestimate your influence as their parent. You will find that in most cases, for most kids, it's stronger than any outside. They may, rail against you and yell and scream and slam their door, but in the end, let me tell you, they will be better off for it. Your influence is key. And if you abdicate it to somebody else, they're going to pick the wrong one. They're going to be following Justin Bieber, or they're going to be following Marilyn Manson, or they're going to be following some jackass out there that they shouldn't even know about, let alone be following. Just telling you. Half of Democrats say government is usually the problem. Now, let me repeat that. This is a town hall story, townhall.com. There's another poll out there. You know what I feel about polls. I'm not a big poll fan. But, when polls tend to, how can I put this, agree with me, well, then it's hard, not to agree with the poll. I'm just saying, it's hard not to agree with a poll that agrees with me. Because then it has to be right. The poll has to be right if it agrees with me, because it proves that I'm right. I mean, how else can I put it? But poll, half of Democrats say government is usually the problem. And half of Democrats. Now let's take 2 seconds just to contemplate that first. Half Democrat. The ones that want big government. The ones that want lots of government programs and handouts. The liberals. They're saying government is usually the problem. Now, here's the poll, which it breaks down. Which of the following comes closer to your view, is what the poll question is asking, and it's a Fox News poll. Government is usually the solution to the problem. 18%. Government is usually the problem. 67%. Mix, depends, don't know. I don't know how you don't know. Is only, a mix and depends is 12%. Don't know is 4%. Depends. That's the adult diaper in the in the adult diaper aisle. It doesn't depend. Either you know or you don't know. And if you don't know, you're an idiot. And you're probably one of those stupid voters too. I'm just saying. No, we can't. No, I don't. No more. Democrats. Government is usually the solution to the problem. Only 30% of Democrats say that that's their view. Only 30% of the Democrats say that is their worldview. So let me put this question. Let me pose this out there to you. If only 30% of Democrats believe that government is usually the solution to a problem, how the hell are so many Democrats elected to office, and how the hell is our government so big, trying to solve every problem we have? How is that the case? Look, I told you before, if you're new out there, I've told you, I've warned you, I'm all about facts. I'm all about historical facts, current facts, and then I'm about using logic to look at those facts and determine what the truth is. I'm all about the truth. The truth is, if it's even close to 30%, say if it's they're off by about 5, because most polls they'll tell you they're 3 to 5% off, 3 to 5. So 35% of Democrats, let's give them the plus side, believe that government is usually the solution to the problem. The solution, 35%. That means 65 to 70% of us believe that that's not the case. So how the hell do they get elected? And how the hell does our government grow so big? I mean, these are just logical questions. And nobody, especially the liberal Democrats, want to give me an answer. I mean, so come on, people. Start asking that question everywhere you go. If even 51% of Democrats polled said government is usually the problem. So if half of Democrats, those who advocate big government, think that government is the problem, how the hell do we have such a big government and so many Democrats in elected office? How do we get Barack Obama elected to be president? Look, I think that's a logical question that deserves a logical answer and explanation. Plain and simple, there's, well, the poll continued, and they asked Republicans. Well, 6% of Republicans say government is usually the solution to the problem. Well, you know what those 6% are? That's Mitch McConnell and John Bonnier. It's that 6%. Okay, let's round it up. That's 10, 11%. Really? And yet Bonnier is the leader of the House, and McConnell is the leader in the Senate. I mean, really? If this is the actual, if Fox News has hit on something here. They have hit on something huge. They don't even know how big this poll is. They don't understand how huge this poll is. I mean, if I were in Fox News' shoes, I would be touting this poll for the next week, because this is huge. Half of Democrats think that government is the problem. 83% of Republicans think government is the problem. In other words, 67% of a combined Republican, Democrat, Independent think that government is the problem. 64% of women think government is the problem. 59% of black people think government is the problem. This poll is the biggest poll that has ever been done as far as government is concerned in this country. Do you realize what I just said? 59% of blacks do not register as Republicans today, and they do not consider themselves to be conservative because they think, hey, conservatives are the racist. But 59% of them now think that government is the problem. You can't get bigger news than that. Now, my question is why the hell isn't Fox News touting this everywhere? I mean, this should be plastered everywhere. I got to go to townhall.com to find it? Are you kidding me? Now, look, I'm putting this on my website. I'm going to try to cut and paste it. I'm going to try to put this in a permanent spot on my website because this is huge. RodEccles.net. This is huge. You can't get bigger. 59% of blacks, 69% of women, there's 64% of women. Those are two groups that supposedly the Democrats say look to government for solutions. They don't have a majority in either one. There are no good government solutions to just about everything. Look, all we got to do is make sure that this poll gets out there, and I guarantee you that the Republicans will win in a landslide, as we should anyway. But hell, people, come on. 59% of blacks. I just, when I read that earlier, I couldn't believe it. My jaw hit the floor. And my mouth ain't that big. I mean, it's big and it's loud, but it ain't that big.
This is a station identification moment.
Come on down to the newest pub in Texas, Rednecks, where our beer kegs are always full. Don't ask what brand it is, because it all tastes like warm piss. So if you're celebrating a special occasion, like marrying your sister,
I do.
I did, or being named Employee of the Month at Walmart, you're going to want to come celebrate with us at Redneck's Bar and Cantina. And remember, every Friday and Saturday, we have our famous tooth contest. Whoever has the most teeth wins a pair of John Deere mud flaps and a buttery corn on the cob. There's plenty of parking space to drive your house over to Redneck's and come on in and have a hell of a time. We're located right next to Big Al's truck stop, right across the street from the KKK headquarters.
Homos and minorities not welcome.
In a world where beer is served warm and flat, there is only one hope for beer drinkers. The Wooden Tap Bar and Grill presents Perfect Tap, an epic invention that ensures your favorite draft beer tastes better here than it does anywhere else. Critics call Perfect Tap mesmerizing. This is the way draft beer is supposed to taste. If you drink just one beer this year, make sure it comes from Perfect Tap. Now pouring exclusively at all 4 Wooden Tap locations. Wooden Tap! Come as you are.
Ripper the Clown may be a cartoon character come to life, but you trust him with your votes on November 4th? Ripper the Clown wants to be mayor, sheriff, comptroller, and senator of Ripper County, but in a recent debate, he admitted that he didn't even know what a comptroller was. And then he offered free gas cards and fast food gift certificates to anyone who voted for him. He also offered free autographed copies of his new award-winning zombie novel, The Life and Minds, and Zombie Apocalypse of Ripper the Clown for those who cast votes in his favor. These are all violations of America's occasionally enforced voting laws. Do you want this inexperienced and sneaky clown with his finger on the button? Don't vote for Ripper the Clown. Paid for by people who hate Ripper the Clown. The people who hate Ripper the Clown are responsible for the content of this ad.
Let's talk about Bob Sweeney, Lambert, Bentonhausen, Kavanaugh, Rope Puller, Havisham, McDougal, Subway, Bentley, Kavanaugh, Buffalo, Nickel, Jones, Rosenberg, Radio Frequency, Smith. What do you know? Did you know that he's a naval hero? He single-handedly fought the Battle of Trafalgar in the wading pool at the community center, freeing us from French tyranny. Did you know that he's an adventurer? Fighting the elements, he climbed Mount Everest in the frozen food section of the local grocery store to prove that anyone can achieve their dreams. He's a humanitarian. He found another cure for smallpox when, on a rainy day, climbed his aluminum ladder to the power lines to rescue a stray sperm whale. An energy pioneer. He discovered an unyet-named natural resource when he chewed the gum from underneath all the tables at the local pizza joint. And did you know that the only salary he takes is a few pieces of string, peat moss, and the occasional crow feather? Naval hero, adventurer, humanitarian, energy pioneer, and philanthropic volunteer.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by CitizensUnited.org.
Millions of Americans every day are shedding unwanted pounds by taking tested and proven ultra-lipostick. Carbohydrates are bad. Our carbo-fighting antioxidant is good. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
My name is Gail, and I lost like 20 pounds on ultra-lipostick.
My name is Jared, and I lost 46 pounds using ultra-lipostick.
My name is Zach, and I actually gained weight. This stuff sucks!
Ultra-lipostick is safe and easy to inject. Just 3 doses 4 times a day discreetly underneath your fingernail. Listen to this.
I used ultra-lipostick and suffered from side effects like uncontrollable greasy discharge.
Ultra-lipostick, it turned the armpits of all of my shirts orange. This stuff is crap.
Try it today and see some real results. Ultra-lipostick. Not available in stores. Results may vary.
When you can't find anything to watch on cable, you get bored. When you get bored, you listen to radio cooking shows. When you listen to radio cooking shows, you invite a friend over for dinner. When you invite a friend over for dinner, you use twice as many beans. When you use twice as many beans, you expel deadly farts that kill your friend's dog. When you kill your friend's dog, your friend becomes unstable. When your friend becomes unstable, you're sued for everything you're worth. When you're sued for everything you're worth, you're thrown to the streets. When you're thrown to the streets, you devote your life to world domination. When you devote your life to world domination, you become an evil fascist overlord. When you become an evil fascist overlord, old friends plot their revenge. When old friends plot their revenge, you are shot in the back of the head. And when you're shot in the back of the head, you miss your jazzercise appointment. Don't miss your jazzercise appointment. Upgrade to Indirect TV. Go online or call 1-800-DIRECT-TV.
And we are back for the final half hour of the program for tonight and the final half hour for the week. I cannot believe this week has gone by. It just flew by. And this program, it's already been an hour and a half in the show, and it seems like I just started it 10 minutes ago. And look, it's only because I thoroughly enjoy what I do. I really do. And I hope it comes across because let me put it to you in terms that the tabloidists can understand. And I'm sure if I was a bigger celebrity, one of what I am about to say would probably hit the tabloids. But I am a man who's having a love affair with his country. I love the United States of America. I love this land. I am so grateful and thankful to God Almighty that He allowed me to be born in this country. Do you understand that out of 7.5 billion people on this planet, only about 330 million get to live here? I am one of those lucky 330 million people. That is freaking awesome in my book. That is awesome. But there's no other place I'd rather live. There's places I want to visit. Yeah, there are other countries I would love to visit. I don't want to live there. Let me give you a list. Give you a little bit of insight of who I am. Now I've already been to places like Spain and Greece and a few other places, but let me give you a list of where, as an adult, countries I would like to visit. I would spend, a week or two in each of these places. I would love to go to Ireland and Scotland. Not England. I'm not interested in London and those places. In England, I'm just not. Sorry, nothing against the English, but to me, England is kind of boring. But Scotland, on the other hand, and the Bunny Isle of Ireland, I'd love to go to those two countries, especially the Highlands of Scotland, and simply because I've seen so much scenery, and I have a friend who goes there every year, and she's like, you know what? You should come with me one of these times. If I could ever, she goes for like 3 weeks. I said, I can't go for 3 weeks, but maybe one of these times I can meet you there for a week or so. She says, no problem. Because I rent this house. I spent half my time in this house that I rent in the Highlands. I said, oh, that's the time I'm going to come. I want to go to the Highlands of Scotland. And I would love to go to Ireland. No, I'm not going to kiss the Blarney Stone because you know how many people, you don't know whose lips have been on that thing. I'll take a picture of it, and then I'll kiss the picture, but I ain't kissing that stone. I'd also love to go to France, Paris to be exact. I'd love to go back to Spain, but not Madrid this time because I haven't been to Barcelona. I'd love to go to Spain, Barcelona. I'd love to go to Venice, Italy. I'd love to go back to Athens, Greece. I would love to do what they call a spy city tour. In other words, I'd go to Prague. I'd go to Warsaw. I think I'd skip Moscow. I mean, other than the Black Forest, really Germany doesn't turn me on, but Berlin would be fun. Berlin, I think, would be a lot of fun. I'd love to go to Asia, Japan, South Korea, Hong Kong. I would love to be able to spend 2 weeks or a month at a martial arts school in Japan, at true ninja school. I would love to be able to go up into the country of China and spend some time with the Shaolin monks. That would be awesome. I have no interest of going to Tibet, however. But I don't want to live in any of those places. I want to live here. And I want this to be the best place on earth. Period. That is my goal. The world has many beautiful places. I can't name all the places right now that I would love to visit. God has made a beautiful planet. And there are beautiful people all around the planet. But to me, the best people, the greatest people, are Americans of the United States of America. Plain and simple. Call me biased. Go ahead. I don't care. I love this country. And I firmly believe that we have people elected in office who do not. And that's the problem. I believe that we have people in this country, even people that we idolize and call them stars, that do not fully, thoroughly, truly, from the bottom of their heart, love this country. Let me give you an example. Now, this is a star that I once really did like. I thought she was a decent actress. She was fun to watch on the screen. But I got to tell you, ever since I heard her stupid, inane comment of her divorce, calling it a conscious uncoupling, oh, good golly, Miss Molly, we've got a live one here. And yes, she's continuing. And that's too bad because she's a fairly talented person. She's a more talented actress than a lot of the mainstream Hollywood actresses out there today. I'll give her that. But USA Today has a story about Gwyneth Paltrow. She is living on food stamps for a week. Now, I can't even keep a straight face every time I say it. But yes, a very wealthy woman. She's very successful in her career and very successful in her investments. Gwyneth Paltrow is worth millions of dollars. And here she's going to attempt to live on food stamps for a week. Now, Gwyneth Paltrow here's the story. Gwyneth Paltrow is known for curating the finer things in life on her site, Goop.com. Now, I didn't even know she had a site, and I didn't even know it was called Goop. Well, I mean, other than, GwynethPaltrow.com or whatever, her personal site. I didn't know she had I didn't know what she did for business. But Goop.com, Goop.com, and I probably shouldn't. That's free advertising. One of these days, that free advertising I just gave is going to be worth a lot. Just saying. Her spring guide to coats, for example, includes a Monique Luillier, Luillier, bomber jacket that costs, it's a bargain at $22.95. That's not $22.95. That's $2,295. So the story continues, so excuse us for being just a wee bit shocked there to read that Paltrow is subsisting on food stamps for a week. Now this is what there's a picture there, and it shows that what she bought for $29 in a grocery store, groceries, what families on SNAP, i.e. food stamps, have to live on for a week. Now, I got to tell you, that's not true. Because she's a single person. A family of four gets more than $29 a week on SNAP, on total food stamps and total welfare. Look, I've seen it, folks. I've been in line in the grocery store behind people who've bought over, they bought nearly $200 worth of groceries, and they put it all on their SNAP debit card, their food stamp card. And they still had credit left. Now, I don't know. Now, for a whole, let's just say they go for a whole month, 4 weeks. Well, $200 is $50 a week, right? And that's not $29. And let me tell you, they weren't buying cheap stuff like Gwyneth was trying to buy in her thing. There was steak in there. I mean, she doesn't even have any meat in her picture of the stuff that she purchased. I mean, that's. I'm thinking that's, considering what she bought, is kind of low for. I think she got some change back for her $29. She bought an awful lot of limes, rice and beans and peas. But she's a vegetarian anyway. I think I do. I don't think she's I don't think she's a vegan because she's got some bread there, but an egg. So she's not a vegan, but I think she's a vegetarian. But this kind of thing is not, and this is what she put on her Twitter her Twitter feed. We're walking in their shoes, people who live on welfare, she says. We're walking in their shoes to see how far we can get. Really? Now, is she really going to only live on $29 for a week in food? I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. Is she moving out of one of her homes, one of her mansions or penthouses while she's doing? No, because if you're going to do this, you got to do the whole experience, right? You got to go down and live in the ghetto. You got to go down and live in government housing for a week. Look, I think I've just lost a little bit of, quite a bit of respect for this woman. I've already lost some because of her conscious uncoupling comment about her divorce. What? Really? The woman's turning out to be a liberal nutjob freak. Sorry. But so far, I haven't heard her, issue any political announcements or statements. So I guess I could probably still see her in movies, just like Will Smith. Will Smith hasn't come out and talked about politics. He said some stupid stuff off script about how hard he works, for one. I like it. Please, you work 1 or 2 months out of the year in a movie and you call that hard work? Why don't you try working 12 months out of the year? But he hasn't gotten to the point yet where I'm going to just turn him off and say I can't support him anymore. But, Tom Cruise is one I turned off a long time ago. I can't, that guy's a nut. I'm not going to support that. And this is how you, and I'm amazed by how many people will talk about what some of these celebrities say in public, off script, when it's them, not some screenwriter talking. It's them actually talking, and yet they still go see their movies and support them financially so they can continue, so those stars can continue going out there spouting and supporting their stupid stuff. I'm telling you, cut them off at the source. Their source is money. Their source is fame. Get rid of that. They're nothing. They go away. I'm telling you the truth here. You gotta start paying attention to what these idiots are saying, and then stop supporting them. Plain and simple. And that's my. Look. If you don't like what Ellen says, then why the hell do you watch? If you don't like what she stands for in her politics, why the hell do you watch her show and make it what? The number one? It's the new Oprah, for crying out loud. I mean, personally, I don't think she's really all that funny, but she's very likable. But I understand behind the scenes and at home, she's a total bitch. But her persona up front, she's very likable. I get it. But I don't watch her. And plain and simple, just don't do that kind of thing. I don't watch Oprah. I didn't watch Oprah. No, but enough of you did that you made her one of the wealthiest women on the planet, for crying. But and then you get upset when she spouts all this liberal garbage and crap. I mean, come on. You got to take some. Yesterday I talked about personal and self-responsibility. So if you missed the show, you're going to have to get the archive over on BTR or something, or you got to listen to it. You got to listen to my rant about personal responsibility and how we're sorely lacking that today in this country, especially in the younger generations. But you got to take personal responsibility. If these people are able to run around and go to all these wonderful places and have all this time to do all these things that are so liberal-esque and spout this liberal BS, how do they get there? Well, they get there because they sell movie tickets and television advertising, and you buy it all. It's just like a corporation. These stars are just like companies. They don't make money unless you buy the product they're selling, which is their movie, their TV program, what have you, their records. If you don't buy that stuff, if you don't see that stuff, then they're not going to have any money. Look, it's all in your hands, the public. Plain and simple. Here's another story. Did you know that a 10-hour workday is tied to risky drinking behavior? I did not know that. But this is a Newser.com story. That extra glass of wine that you're downing every night after you put in a 10-hour workday could be because of that 10-hour workday. A review of 61 studies across the country, across 14 countries, I don't know how they do these studies, but 14 countries, not counties, countries. You know, for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda, a country would be Canada, United States, Mexico, England, France, Spain, Germany, Italy, Australia. You know, those are countries. Just so you know. For a total of more than 330,000 subjects linked working more than 48 hours a week with risky alcohol use. Now, this is a Harvard Business Review published study. Now, Mariana Virtanen and fellow researchers at the Finnish Institute of Occupational Health found when subjects worked those longer hours, they were 11% more likely to be heavy drinkers. 11%. They were 11% more likely to drink more, drink heavy, I guess, is the term. So they're going to drink heavy. They're, but what is 11%? You know, that's like 300 people out of a study of 330,000. Well, they're drinking. What is 11% more? That's not even a half a glass of. I'm still trying to figure out what 11% more drinking is. So yeah, really, yeah, you really got to ask yourself what is that? 11% of more drinking, or drinking more? 11% more? Okay. So they're 11% more likely to be heavy drinkers than those who punched in for no more than the typical 40-hour work week. Now understand this. This is nothing more than a push to reduce the work week. You know, what France already has, a 30-hour, 32-hour work week? This is nothing more than trying to push for a shorter work week. Period. And this is nothing more, because look, we're talking Finland here. Finland is one of the highest tax socialist countries on the planet. You know, people think that they can get everything for free over there, but their taxes are like 70%. But hey, I guess you shouldn't work 40 hours. You shouldn't work 50 hours. All you people trying to get ahead in life and trying to become a success. I don't know. I guess I should be an alcoholic, according to this study. Then, if I were to take this study out to its logical conclusion, because I don't remember the last time I worked just 50 hours in a week. I'm not complaining because I love what I do, but I don't remember the last time I worked only 50 hours. I should be an alcoholic by their standards. I mean, this is just nonsense. But they continue. For the purpose of the study, Virtanen defined risky drinking as more than 14 alcoholic drinks per week for women. Well, that's 2 drinks a day. Well, we're told we're supposed to at least have a glass of wine a day. Oh, no, there was a new study not too long ago that said a bottle of wine a day is not bad for you. I'll have to find that now that it's at the top of my head. I have to find that study. You can go look it up on Google. There was a study out there that says so if you can drink a bottle of wine a day, you're not an alcoholic according to the study. It's good for you. For women, and more than 21 drinks for men. So that's 3 drinks per day, 7 days a week for guys. Hey, that goes back to the 60s. You know, the 3 martini lunch. Remember that? They weren't kidding about that. Watch Mad Men and you'll see. You know, and people like to think that, well, I do live in New Hampshire, believe it or not, drinks more beer per capita than any other state in the union. I have no idea why that is the case. You would think, well, I guess maybe in Alaska because, you know, they're on the grid and they're responsible. They have to do everything themselves. They have to be about, you know, a bear could come up into their house. They have to keep their wits about them, so they can't be drunk all the time. I don't know why it'd be New Hampshire. Maybe because we're surrounded by a bunch of liberal nut job states. That might be it. And we need an escape. I'm telling you, folks, it's a good time. Hey, I'm out of time. Have a wonderful weekend, folks. We'll see you right here on the Rod Eccles Show again on Monday. Stay tuned. Hey, check out the website, rodeccles.com, and the Facebook site, Rod Eccles, facebook.com/The Rod Eccles Show. Like the page, like the website. Lots of good information coming, and some announcements over the weekend. Until then, bye-bye.